Hello everyone, classic 80s fanboy here. Um, no, I've just done one take of this video. It was about 18 minutes long, and all of a sudden I realised that it just cut half the top of my head off. So at the end of it, my head was, I'd say my head was pretty much here from the bottom. So that's what you could see. So as I was saying before, I had a bit of a ramble. Um, about a week before my 46th birthday, well, it wasn't a week, it was about 3 days, I was put on furlough. So I had to stay at home. I didn't agree with the reason why my company put me on furlough. But there you are. I think in the end of the day, it got to a stage where everybody was trying to save money. So what they did was they just shoved me on furlough, so they were trying to save money. It did affect my mental health a little bit. I was wondering what the hell to do for three. I didn't know it was going to be for 3 months, but that's how long it ended up. I've just recently gone back on Sunday, so I did a 5-hour shift on Sunday. And to be honest, they are actually struggling at the moment, struggling to get the stock out. There's loads of people that have just left, so they're in a bit of a tizzy. And even though there was two of us on the floor, I managed to use my military skills and leadership skills to round them up, and we managed to clear the warehouse a little bit. So none of the stock was left on pallets. They were all on cages. Managed to get the leftover pallets moved out, and then all the other pallets were under a canopy outside, so they were all the garden furniture, so they didn't have to go out. Yeah, so for 3 months, rather than sitting around milling about and doing nothing, I thought I'd better go and do something. As I mentioned before, I suffered with PTSD, and it can come out at all sorts of times. And rather than sit here feeling sorry for myself, I got up and thought I'd do stuff around outside of the house. So looking at our garage, and I might put a photograph up of the garage later so you can see it in the end. Yeah, our garage was in a bit of a state. So we had ivy growing all up the side of the concrete, all everywhere, and the roots were embedded into the concrete. So we have a brown bin that I pay £50 for every year from the council. So what I'd done was it took me 2 to 3 lots to get rid of all the weeds and the ivy, because I had to chop it down and pull it off the wall, which exposed more of the concrete and more of the steel underneath the concrete, because the concrete was cracked. So I got rid of most of that. It was growing on the roof as well. Then that took me 3 attempts to get rid of all the ivy, which shows you how much ivy there was around the side of the garage, because we've lived here for about 6 years and it'd been neglected for that long. So I got rid of the ivy, pulled weed killer, root and tree weed killer down around the perimeter of the garage. So hopefully that stopped that from coming back and killed whatever remains there. Hopefully that's all gone. Then my whole front of the garage door is completely chipped, and it was slightly bent. So I managed to, and it didn't work, because you turn it to open it and the bar inside would just fall off, which didn't help. So I managed to sort that out. I managed to get some paint and some undercoat, and undercoated the front of the garage and the sides, and then I painted the front of the garage door in a TARDIS blue to neaten all that up. So that's hopefully looking a lot neater now. Around the back, I managed to cut more of the weeds off, and the hinges on the door, and open the door to the back of the garage. It was blocked, and it had boards around the 2 panels around the front of the door, which was screwed into the door itself, stopping it from opening it up. So I unblocked that, open the door up. I managed to, the door was actually blocked from inside as well with a kitchen unit, so I managed to move that out of the way to get in the garage. A third of our garage is full of the crap that was left here before from the previous, he must have been an owner, previous owner, just dumped everything, and left stuff in the house, got a lot of garden stuff in the garden. So I had to move that into the garage as well. That's ready to be tipped as well. Now, I didn't realise is that we need 2 tips at some point. We need one for electrical and then one for everything, everyday household stuff as well. Because I didn't realise that you need 2 different tips now. One for, you can't mix the 2 together. The household and electrical have got to be separate. So we're going to have to hire one tip one time for all the electrical stuff, because we've got hoovers in there, we've got fans, heaters, TVs in there. But the TVs are ours actually, because we seem to be in an area where we go through TVs like a dose of salts. Our TVs only last for, well, the last one we had lasted about a year, and then it started going wrong. Mainly because I was ironing in the living room and using the steam part of the iron as well, and the steam must have got into the TV somehow from the back, probably because I was too close to the telly. But I always made sure I was a bit of a distance away, but the steam must have got into the back of the telly and cocked up the screen. We had a green line running down the TV screen, so that had to go, and we had to buy a new telly. And then the next telly we bought, I switched it on one day. The Malcolm screen came up for Hitachi and then switched off and wouldn't come back on again. So it turns out that it must have been the chip inside on the main motherboard had blown for some strange reason, and we never worked out how, and it just blew. So we had to go and get yet another TV. So we've had 3 TVs in 6 years downstairs in the room. But anyway, I'm getting off topic here. So what I made sure I did is, in the 3 months I had off, was just general basic, going around doing the garden, pulling the weeds up and in the back garden, and cutting. We've got wild blackberry, basically thorns that grow over the top of our hedge. So I had to cut all that back. I managed to paint all our fence panels at the side as well. That's all been done in a nice autumn brown. So that's all been sorted, and I managed to cut the grass for the first time at the back, and as I said before, I got an electric mower for the front. So I was keeping myself busy, which is the main thing. Now, what I find with mental health problems as well is that if you dwell on something for too long, then you turn it into an issue when there's no need for it to be an issue. It turns itself into a big issue. And by keeping yourself busy and occupied and taking your mind off it, that helped me get through my stint as well. So that's how I maintained, not going over the top, but I maintained keeping my mental health under control and not letting it get the better of me. So with regards to the journal, I've not really been keeping up with that for the past week or so. I don't know, there's no really concrete evidence of why I haven't bothered. It's just that I've been making sure I do videos, keep my YouTube videos going, doing at least one a week. Sometimes, if you notice, probably 2 a week, just to keep up with things. And yesterday I had a phone call from my father, and we've had a really close friend of the family. She passed away at the age of 92. Well, luckily she was at home. She'd just come out of hospital and passed away, which was, to me, is really, really sad. There's no chance of being able to go to a funeral, obviously, because they've restricted it. They'll restrict it again to a minimum of so many people, maximum of so many people. So I'm going to miss out on that. But I've sent condolences cards out to all who have felt needed them, and I sent one to my dad as well. So hopefully he'll get that. I did mention a couple of weeks ago, I think it might have been not last week, but the week before, that I entered a competition and won it on a live broadcast, on a live stream from Tom Pizarro's Pieces, and they had Toy Pillow on there, and he said he would send me some stuff, and then Toy Pillow said to send me some stuff. Well, he did in the end, and I'll just show you here now. I've got it here. So I'm not going to get out the carded. I've got carded Star Wars figures I won from that competition anyway, and it was fairly easy because I've been watching Toy Pillow and I'm a fan of Toy Pillow anyway. So he sent me a sticker. It's got a nice Toy Pillow sticker. I haven't worked out where I'm going to put that yet. This is one of his calling cards, because he's done it like a collectible card, and as you can see, it's a B-wing pilot that's been taken apart. And that's his name and how you can get hold of him. Very interesting videos on how to repair 80s toys on YouTube, and I enjoy watching them. And he also sent a notebook as well, which is really funny, because like if you open it up, it's got blank pages inside, and this notebook belongs to, and you can write your holy grails on there, the toys that you want, and they're calling it Holy Grails and White Whales now. Holy Grails are the toys that you really want to get, and White Whales are toys that are hard to find, not necessarily grails. And then at the back he's got his G.I. Joe avatar. That's himself with his avatar as a G.I. Joe figure, which I think is quite funny. So thanks very much, Dave. I will use that. And then Tom left his calling card. That's Tom's calling card on his. He left with the stuff that I got. So that's very kind of him to do that as well. So yeah, as I said, I've been catching up with doing various things, various odd jobs around outside of the house, not necessarily inside of the house. Just to keep my mind occupied, just to try and keep my mind occupied, because if you dwell on something, I don't know about other PTSD sufferers, but especially me and my family in general. My dad's a natural born warrior. He has been all his life, but me, it could be twice as worse, especially with the PTSD, because you're still thinking about what's going on. As I said to you in my mental health video, I'm on top of it, but it can still come back, and you just have to deal with it. Find techniques to whether you go for help again, seek help again, or attempt to do things on your own. Whichever way, I honestly wish you luck in that, and I wish you well for those who are suffering, because I can sympathise what you're going through. I really can. It's not a nice thing to have, but I believe in this time that we've been going through, a year of everybody being locked up. There's more than just people with PTSD coming out with mental health issues now. It's a wide mixture of mental health issues. It's not just people with PTSD now. It's virtually a lot of people going down with mental health problems. So all I can do is my heart goes to all of them suffering with mental health. I know how hard it is, and everybody suffers with mental health in their own different way. It's how you cope with it yourself. That's the main thing. Everybody has got their own individual way of getting through it. So I could as I said, I made a video before on how I got through it. But that was my own personal experiences. So as I said on the video that I made before that I had to redo again, I'm still here creating videos. I'm still going to create videos, and I'm hoping that some of you take the journey with me, and we'll move forward on from there, and I can show you more of the stuff I've got. Unfortunately, not so much 80s now. With it's more stuff that more character and stuff, and I have still got 80s DVDs that I'm going to go through. As I said before, I went through the space ones. Now I've got the land ones, the 80s. Because I'd say in the 80s it was all American TV shows, and I've got a lot of American TV shows that I'd like to share with you. Even people who've never even seen them before. I'll pick them out and give a little synopsis about them, so you know, if you want to venture further. Most of these video episodes that on these DVDs can be found online anyway, on YouTube or Netflix or Amazon Prime or even Disney Plus. Some of them can be found. So yeah, and I've obviously I forgot to say, I also got some badges of Toy Law as well. These are some of his well-known sayings. No Legos were harmed, because he uses a lot of Lego in his repairing videos. So I've got that as well. But yeah, I've still got some stuff I need to go through. I'm going to talk about the soundtracks of all the Doctor Who's. I've got them to show you as well. So all in all, I still have quite a few bits and pieces to show, and I hope you'll journey with me together. I know it takes about 1 to 2 years to get YouTube up and running properly and get noticed. So yeah, I'm going to keep going. I'm enjoying it. It's nice to just ramble, even though I don't know who I'm rambling to. It's just nice to talk to people on camera, you know. So take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Bye for now.